All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try and give at least a couple of minutes. Then I will start. I know this is my first live stream in a minute, and we will be dealing with the championship weekend, for the NFL, the AFC and NFC championships, which will be taking place in Kansas City and New Orleans, respectively. Now, the first game I'm going to deal with will be the New England Patriots going to Kansas City to take on those Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, the Chiefs are like a 2.5-point favorite. Now, anybody that knows, I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Now, the goal at the beginning of the season was hopefully the Steelers would have made the Super Bowl. But obviously, the Steelers failed to make the playoffs this year. Now, I don't know how everybody else does it, but this is how I normally rate the season. I rate the season first. Steelers go to the Super Bowl. We hope for that. If the Steelers don't make the Super Bowl, then it's making sure that either the Dallas Cowboys or the New England Patriots do not win the Super Bowl. Because I hate those two franchises with a passion. Now, the Dallas Cowboys got knocked out last week by the LA Rams, so we don't have to worry about those motherfuckers. Unfortunately, the Tom Brady-led New England Patriots, he and Belichick, are still there. That is a huge problem. I cannot deal with Tom Brady winning a 6th NFL championship. Cannot do it. Cannot take it. And they did look dominant last week. That was one of the worst coaching and worst playoff performances I've ever seen by the Los Angeles Chargers. They should be ashamed of themselves. They were better off just losing to the Baltimore Ravens in that game. The Ravens would have gave the Patriots a much better game. That was an absolute disgrace how bad they were coached, how they were outplayed. Everything was bad. I tell you, and I actually like Anthony Lynn. I swear, if it weren't for a little bit, I'd have fired his ass after that game. He was that bad as a coach. You know, when you play New England, you can't play zone. The Steelers learned that. You have to be physical with those New England wide receivers. You have to play man-to-man because Tom Brady's going to chew up his own. He just is. Even at his advanced age. And he doesn't have the best offensive line in the world, but everything damn near is a 3-step drop. We know this. And they played right into their hands. Now the Chiefs come into town. Well, the Chiefs are at home, but they played them earlier in the season. They should have won that game, but Mahomes threw 2 ghastly picks. And he actually played pretty well for the most part. Now, this is not the same New England team. And I understand this New England team is a little beat up. But as long as you have Belichick and Brady, as far as I'm concerned, you should be the favorite. Now, the NFL MVP is going to be Patrick Mahomes. There's no way around that. And he deserves it. 50 touchdown passes. Has a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Damn right he deserves it. Unfortunately, I'm scared that this is the game where they miss Kareem Hunt. I know the other running back is filled in very well. I get it. He's not Kareem Hunt. Stars win games in these type of games. Now, the funny part is, stars lose them too. Now, to me, what the New England Patriots are going to do, they're going to try and take away Tyreek Hill because he's the most explosive player on the field. And the pass rush has not been great for New England, so they're going to roll probably Patrick Chung or somebody over there. Now, they do not have anybody that can match speed with Tyreek Hill. In fact, to be honest, nobody in the league does, but the Patriots are an extremely slow football team. Their secondary is painfully slow. And I tell you what, if I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to try a couple of deep shots with Tyreek Hill. Now, Sammy Watkins is going to be very important to this team. If Sammy Watkins and Travis Kelce do their thing, it's going to open up things for Tyreek Hill. I expect Kelce to get a linebacker roll over to him too. Because he's been a big play tight end. He's been the best tight end in the league. No question about it. Rob Gronkowski has been a shell of himself. Now, to be quite honest, this has been Bill Belichick's best coaching job of all time. When you look at the lack of talent that he has and the results that he's gotten, have to give Bill Belichick a lot of credit. Because Brady has been on the decline, trust me. What he's done with that running game, that offensive line, the defense is not the greatest. He has been magnificent. If he goes to the Super Bowl with this team and wins it, listen, he's better than Lombardi, if that happens. Simple as that. A lot of people will tell you he's better than him right now. I'm not one of those guys. I don't think he's better than Chuck Noll myself. Well, say you're a little biased, yeah, whatever. I know that Chuck Noll won 4 championships in 6 years. Even Belichick didn't do that, okay? But I'm afraid they're going to force feed Brady into the Super Bowl. They're going to get a call here, a call there, because let's face it, I mean, old Ronald Kraft got a couple of those referees in his back pocket. You don't think so? There was no such thing as a fucking tuck rule until that bullshit. I mean, you think I'm making up stuff? Yeah, right. If you've seen enough of their games, man, Ronald Kraft has more than a few of those Gillette millions that he can shove down a referee's throat to get a W. Trust me. I know what I'm saying. I'll take it back. Is he going to get one of those roughing the passer calls late? More than likely. He going to get one of those holding calls? Yeah. Because it seems like the Patriots have a funny way of getting those, so to speak. And for that reason, and that reason alone, because trust me, they're setting up a certain way. You can see it. Now, I'm praying all get out against it, and I really hope I'm wrong. I do not mind being wrong, trust me, especially when it comes to this, but I have to choose the New England Patriots. I can't choose Andy Reid to save my life. I'm sorry. I don't trust Andy Reid as far as I can throw him, and you can't throw that fat motherfucker. So, I'm going to go New England 27 and the Chiefs 24 for the AFC Championship game. I really hope I'm wrong. I would love to see Mahomes in a Super Bowl. I would love to see the Kansas City Chiefs go to the Super Bowl since my team couldn't get it done. But now let's go to the second part of Championship Sunday. And that will be a rematch for supremacy of the National Football Conference. The LA Rams go back into the Bayou, into the Dome to face the New Orleans Saints. I tell you, Sheldon Rankins got hurt at the beginning of that game. That's going to hurt the Saints badly because he was their best interior defensive lineman. He was. And he had been relatively injury-free up until that happened. Now, Marcus Peters has been running off at the mouth a lot. And Marcus Peters has not had a good season. He really hasn't. So for him to keep chirping and yerping, man, he needs to shut the fuck up. He's been half-assed. I tell you what, I understand that Kansas City's defense needed all the help that they could get, but you know what? Kansas City's a game away from the Super Bowl without him. I mean, that's all you need to know about how disruptive Marcus Peters has been. And the sad part is, I like the Rams. They have a guy who could win the defensive MVP in Aaron Donald. Now, me, I would give it to Khalil Mack myself. That's where I think it should go. But you cannot deny Aaron Donald's greatness. And I tell you what, Aaron Donald is going to have to take over this game. But like I said last week, and I told you, if Ndamukong Suh came to play, they were going to win that game. Didn't I tell you that last week? That's exactly what happened. And Ndamukong Suh was as dominant as we've seen him since he left the Detroit Lions. And if he plays like that on Sunday, then guess what? The LA Rams are going to beat the New Orleans Saints. It's that simple. Because you cannot handle both Ndamukong Suh and Mr. Aaron Donald. You can't do it. Now, the Rams defense has played very, very well. You see how they shut down Ezekiel Elliott. Now, they do have a two-headed monster in New Orleans. But as you know, you cannot go 8 in the box. You cannot do that when you have Drew Brees at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And you have, I understand they only have a handful of weapons, but Kamara is like a second wide receiver. Michael Thomas is the best receiver. No, I'll take that back. He's the second best receiver left because Tyreek Hill is the best receiver left in the playoffs. He really is. But Thomas is so physical. He runs routes so well. Listen, he could get a $180 this game himself. And Kamara could get another 95 to 105 yards himself catching the football. He could. Between him and Ingram, that offensive line, we already know how the Saints get down at home. But the Rams playing them early in the season could help them. But here's the thing, and I love Todd Gurley, and I tell you what, C.J. Anderson is a championship, tried and true winning player. He won the Super Bowl with Denver. This guy knows how to play in big spots. I've seen him play, even before that game against Dallas. I saw how he did the Steelers. This guy is a big game hunter. He is. And I like the Rams receivers. Now, they're going to miss Cooper Kupp in this game. And let me tell you something. Jared Goff, I understand that he's a very good quarterback. He's a very young quarterback. Just something about him, I don't trust Jared Goff in a big spot. I just don't. I'm sorry. Every time I see a big play made, it's not by Jared Goff. It's either by C.J. Anderson. It's either by Todd Gurley. It's either a receiver has to make a move or one of the defensive. Jared Goff, I have not seen him do anything in a big spot. I don't trust him. I mean, if it's going to come down to who do you trust more, Jared Goff or Drew Brees? Duh. Simple as that. Drew Brees is going to get that 100 times out of 100. Not no 99.9. I mean, it's Drew Brees, and it's not even close. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I have to choose the New Orleans Saints to go to the Super Bowl. I like them 31-28 against the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be a nip and tuck game. But something tells me that Drew Brees is going to make 3 or 4 plays more than Jared Goff. It's that simple. So there you have it for my NFL picks. I have, unfortunately, the Pats winning. God knows I want to be wrong on that one. And I have the New Orleans Saints because, trust me, they're setting it up. So it's Brady versus Brees for the Super Bowl. And trust me, the Super Bowl is going to draw as it is. We know that. But that is almost like a dream matchup. Or have the young gun Mahomes versus Brees. Now, I understand the Rams. I mean, they're Hollywood. I get it. But trust me, this has been like almost a Drew Brees invitational this past NFL season. And they want Drew Brees to get that second title. And I tell you what, Drew Brees beats Tom Brady head-to-head. Guess what? Drew Brees, not Tom Brady, becomes the GOAT. Because he's never had the teams that Brady's had. So, I myself am rooting for Drew Brees to win the entire thing, especially if he has to face Tom Brady. Now, if he has to face Kansas City, that's a little different. Wouldn't mind seeing Mr. Patrick Mahomes win that title. But I digress. Those are my NFL picks. My name is Claude White. Please like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and God bless.